What's going on, everybody? Joshua Cook, VYPE Media, here now joined by Stratford head coach Todd Rankin and Stratford long snapper Connor Abel. He's an All-American, named to the All-American game. Didn't get to play it this year, unfortunately, due to COVID-19. But Connor, we'll start for you. I know, they did such a great job making y'all feel special with the videos and the gear being sent to you. What did it mean to you to be named to that game? And I mean, such a prestigious game.
Yeah, for me personally, like that was something where I grew up, and I remember watching that game at my grandparents' house when I was probably 6 years old or just like super young, and just being like, it's those guys are crazy good. Never in a million years imagine that I'd ever have a chance to be a part of that game and playing the game, even though we didn't have it. But obviously, just be a part of it. It's such a it's a first class. I remember when I won the spot, Coach Rankin told me, he's like, it's such a first class organization, and it's true. I mean, they treated us awesome, even though they didn't have to, honor us at all because there wasn't a game, but they still did, and they still sent us a ton of stuff, custom helmets, custom jerseys, the whole 9 yards.
For you, Coach, I mean, what's it like to have one of your players selected to this game? I'm sure in your coaching career you've had different players selected to this game, but what's it like in a year like this to see the way that the All-American game honored guys like Connor?
Oh, yeah. Again, having a little history with that, seeing some guys go to that, back in my North Shore days, to that, I was able to see what a first-class organization it is and the way they do things. And so, I just, that's what I was trying to convey to our players and to Connor, just what an honor this is, man. This is a very rare thing and something, I mean, you can tell your grandkids about one day. But yeah, the organization is just still, I think, one of the best out there, the way they honor these kids and what they do for them and the way they promote these kids. We truly appreciate it as coaches, what they're doing to promote the sport and to promote these young athletes. It's a first-class organization.
So, Connor, you go look at your Twitter profile, ranked as the #1 long snapper in the state of Texas. At one point, did you figure out, hey, I'm pretty good at snapping the ball, not only snapping it, but I can get it a pretty good distance?
So I started out in 7th grade. My dad was a baseball player in high school, and his philosophy in sports is learn as many positions as you can, and the coaches will find a place for you. And at that point, we were talking about like high school football. And then I just started doing it, and to be honest, started doing it mainly so that he would stop bugging me about it. But he eventually, I started doing it, and I started as a freshman. I remember in 8th grade, they were like, hey, I went up to our coach and like, hey, can I try out for long snapper? And the guy goes, since when do we have long? He goes, I've never had someone ask to be the long snapper. But then freshman year, I started going to Chris Rubio's camps, and it was pretty, after a day of the camp, I was like, okay, I'm for sure a freshman and I'm one of the younger guys here, but compared to all the other younger guys, I for sure have a spot and I can make a run with this.
So, Coach, talk about, we talk about a lot of different positions in football, right? We talk about quarterback and how important these are. I don't think a lot of people understand how important it is to have a very good long snapper because things can go very bad very quickly on long snapping. What's it been like for you watching Connor develop into one of the best in the state of Texas, one of the best in the country to be honored by the All-American game?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I'll say this, and I've coached 28 years now and been at some great places around the state, but and I think it's opened my eyes just how valuable an elite deep snapper is, and what Connor brings to the table there. Now, again, he was a good offensive line player for us also. I'll make sure I know that. And, of course, such a great worker. But to see how, and I've been around some good long snappers, but never one this, to this caliber. And I'm just telling you how much easier it makes everything. Like you said, it can change the game in a hurry if there's a bad snap. But just also how much easier punt protection and extra point protection, field goal protection, just those things. What an ease it makes for the entire team. It's truly one of the most valuable players out there. One of the most important players on the team, and to have a guy at this level, it makes it easy for everyone throughout the year, for players coaches, all of us. So we're really going to miss Connor and have to work hard to replace that position.
Connor, for you, at what point, as you mentioned the Rubio camp, you kind of opened your eyes to where you could go with this. I mean, at what point did you think, hey, I can be really, really good at this? And how much work did it take? Because, I mean, to become one of the best in the state and one in the country, that's not easy. It doesn't just happen overnight. So how much work did you put in to get to this point?
Totally. So for me, I am out in my backyard long snapping probably in a not in football season. Football season, I'm at practice and all, then it's pretty much every day. But for me, I'm outside snapping for about an hour, probably about 4 to 5 days a week. So it's about 5 hours a week, I would say, is just snapping, working on form and stuff. And I would say I kicked that up to the level I'm at now at the beginning of my sophomore year. I started doing I do some virtual lessons with a guy named John Finch, and then barring if we take COVID out of the equation, I would be going somewhere around the country for a camp about every month. In my sophomore year in the spring, January I went to Vegas, then you take February off. March I went to Charlotte, April I went to Dallas, and then back to Vegas in May. And so it's kind of about every month I go somewhere around the country for a camp.
So, Coach, for you, I mean, and I'll start with you on this, and I'll get to Connor about it. Not only was Connor, named to the All-American team, he was named one of 6 finalists for the Geico Man of the Year award. What is that? I mean, because that's not just football. That's not. I mean, that's what you do in the community and everything. What's it mean to see one of your players from from your program to be nominated for a national award like that?
Yeah, again, and it's just it's a tremendous honor. Like you're saying, you're rarely around guys that achieve this level in so many different ways. Not long snapping, and of course with the Man of the Year awards and those kinds of things. But I will say this, in being around Connor's one of those guys that makes everyone around him better. The leadership from vocal leadership to just setting an example and the way he rallies everyone together. We do a lot of service projects here at Stratford, a lot of things school-wide, football-wide, and Connor's always the first to list to rally the troops, to get them all together, to do those kinds of things. And so it's just really, really, special for me to see him get that recognition. Because it's something literally from our leadership council in football to some huge service project for Stratford. He's always the first to volunteer and the first one in there. And so it was good to see him nominated for that. And, he's been setting an example for our young kids. And I think his influence will last here at Stratford for a while. We're really, truly proud of him for that.
And Connor, for you, what was it like to be named one of 6 national finalists for that award, the Geico Man of the Year?
It was just kind of, I don't know. When I saw it, I was really surprised because politically I was like, wow, they named the long snapper that. Like the long snapper doesn't have the flash that like the quarterback does or something. And so I was really excited. It was very humbling. I mean, it's something like I go out and I snap a lot, but you could say I've gotten the recognition for that, but then to be able to see that my work with like student council and all those other things that I do with the school, to see that part recognized, it was super, super awesome.
Yeah, expand on that a little bit about your work in the community and through leadership council, like Coach was saying, and different projects that y'all have done. I mean, what have you been involved in, and what's kind of been some of your favorite community service projects? Totally.
So for me, as we'll talk from a football perspective first, I was on the leadership council from my sophomore to senior year. That was kind of our, you could say, like the technical side of football a little bit, is in talking about like leadership development within the program, talking about what uniforms we're going to wear and just some different, and we'd meet with Coach Rankin, especially junior year. We met a lot. Senior year just got thrown out. It just got thrown around with COVID and everything, as everything else did. But then aside from that, I led the Big Day, which is basically our big service project for Stratford. It's where pretty much all clubs come out, and I was in charge of that for football. We ended up cleaning up the front of the school, power washed the entire front of the school, put pea gravel down, and just made it more aesthetically nice because the first thing people see. And then last year as my junior, I served as the junior class president. And then this year I'm serving as the student council president. So I oversee all the student council. I have meetings a lot with like district staff. I bother Coach Rankin in his office a lot of time with him being the athletic director. So that's been really nice. And then I also serve on a district committee with our superintendent, trying to aim and working to get kids into college and making sure that kids are set up from the district for college success.
And I think if my memory serves me right, you're pretty much top of the class, right, for 2021. Are you the valedictorian for this class?
I can't claim valedictorian anymore. I will be salutatorian.
Okay. Okay.
Little. It hurts a little bit, but salutatorian now.
I feel like I ripped a Band-Aid off there. Maybe a little bit.
First B last semester. It hurt. It's okay.
But still talk about, being number 2 in the class for 2021. I mean, that's hard work. I mean, student athlete, there's the student part and you check that box, the athlete part, you check that box. I mean, talk about just accomplishing what you've accomplished academically as well.
Totally. So for me, at the end of the day, I'm a long snapper. And so I have to be able to market myself off the field as well. And so that's something that I've been, where certain kids, they can say, okay, well, I'm going to use my athletics to get me into school or something. And for me, I have to still be able to get in, market myself. And so that's been something, as a dream of playing college football in a tier 1 program, I still, have to stay up till 1 a.m. studying at night. I still have to work in that regard and work on all those type of things. And so it's just, you could say I don't get away with it as much as some other top tier people at other positions would, but it's the nature of the game. That's okay. No complaints.
Well, Coach Rankin, talk about, we'll brag on Connor a little bit more here. Just talk about the example that he's given for you for the rest of your program. When we do talk about student athletes,
Yep.
Salutatory and the community service, being involved with the district and the school and the leadership council, and then his play on the field. What's it like having a guy like him to kind of put at the front of the room and say, hey, this is what we believe a Stratford Spartan looks like?
Yeah, we did that a bunch, especially this last year, to guys like Connor with our character development program, and we do a lot of small group talks where you've got guys that are going to be seniors mixed in there with guys that are freshmen, going to be sophomores the next year, and we kind of mix different age groups, and that's a big part of it, is to try to get that carryover from guys like Connor that have figured out that balance between how to be a good student and a good athlete all at the same time, how they manage their time, all that kind of stuff. But get them into smaller groups last year up until March, until the pandemic hit. But we did a bunch of that, and to get them to hear firsthand from guys like Connor of how to balance that. And it was amazing how it took off, and these young guys. We're really learning a lot from the senior class and from Connor on how to do that. And it's we talk about the long hours at night, but that you've got to get those assignments done. And we talked a lot about that, and how to and just how to treat teachers in the classroom. Just all those things, and emailing teachers, asking for feedback, but just all that is as you get these freshmen coming in. I'm telling you that they need that. They really need guys like that to truly hear from, and not just always hear from the coaches or from their teachers, but just to hear from their peers there like that. So, and we even tried to get peer tutorials started and things like that, where, maybe they're struggling in math, where someone good in math, can sit there in our study halls and help them out and stuff like that. So Connor was a big part of all that, a huge part. And I think we've kind of laid the foundation of what we're going to do year in, year out for years to come with guys like that, and to help influence these young guys coming in. So yeah, I can't thank him enough. And it was a tremendous help to us coaches and to our whole program.
And Connor, we'll wrap up this spotlight on you for you to have the floor. What has Stratford High School meant to you, Coach Rankin, this program, the teachers, the district? What's this all meant to you over the last 4 years of being a Stratford Spartan.
Totally. Well, I mean, Stratford as a whole has meant everything to me. I've loved Stratford. I've loved my experience. Coach Rankin, we had Coach Allen, who's now at Brenham. He was our head coach my freshman year. And then he left Easter of my freshman year. And then Coach Rankin came in pretty much when we got out for school. And him and I mean, Coach Rankin's a good friend of mine. We've gotten super close these past couple years. And he's totally supported me in my long snapping and supported and given me a platform to grow and a platform to lead. And so I'm just thankful for Stratford football. And I love Stratford football. It has been such a fun ride, and I'm going to miss it so much. But 10 out of 10. Love Stratford football.
Well, that's what Coach wants to hear. 10 out of 10
Absolutely.
on the rating. Well, Connor, congratulations on a great high school career, being named an All-American to the All-American game, Geico Man of the Year finalist, a salutatorian for the class of 2021 at Stratford High School. Appreciate the time and congratulations. Can't wait to see what you do at the next level.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What's up, everybody? Hey, if you love that video, go like it, comment, and also spike it, the subscribe button, to follow all of our videos on our YouTube channel to keep up with all of the great content we're pushing out on a daily basis.